Hi everyone, it's Johnny Seed here again, and today I want to talk about cassette tapes. This was the format of choice for myself back in the 80s and 90s. I did have some vinyl records and later on I had some CDs, but most of the time I would listen to music on tape. I had a Walkman, I had several Walkmans over the years which I used to wear pretty much all the time whenever I went. And so I used to make up compilation tapes, and also when I got into recording my own music I would have a 4-track player, 4-track recorder, sorry, and I'd record a lot of music on cassette. Now, being disorganised like I am, I would make music onto cassettes, and then sometimes I would forget to label them up, and then I would forget what was on them, and so years later when I was going back through all my tapes I realised I didn't know what was on half of them. So, and because I didn't want to throw anything away that was irreplaceable, shall we say, I've kept them all. So I do have several boxes. I'll just put in some footage here of this box I'm going to go through today. I just thought I'd have a look through, see what there was, and have a general chat about music and what I was listening to back in the 80s and 90s. So I'm just going to randomly start pulling the tapes out, and if I think there's anything decent I'll mention it. So first up we have a Sinister Footwear demo. Sinister Footwear were a band named after the Frank Zappa song of the same name. They were my friend's band from Blackpool. We used to hang out together, we used to play cards together, we used to, I don't know if we did any gigs together. I think they were gigging they started gigging around about the time that I'd finished gigging. There may have been a bit of crossover with their first incarnation. Anyway, there's some links in, I'll put some links to a playlist of their music. Great band, one of those bands that you think, why did they never get any bigger than they were? They had some really good songs. So this was supposed to be a tape of their early demos, so I might have to give that a listen. I think I probably have all this on my computer somewhere and on CD, but yeah. Right, this looks like a mixture of grooves by Leela. I have no idea who Leela is. I got a feeling she may have been a girlfriend of somebody. Maybe was it? No, I can't think who it was. But going by this handwriting, I don't know what's on this tape whatsoever, so I'm going to have to give this a play, and afterwards I'll put in here what kind of music is on there. Grooves, it looks like, as it says grooves on it, so could be some good stuff or not. Okay, so this one looks like a very old cassette. I guess this is one of my tapes from the 80s. It's got the Eurythmics on it, Revenge. Oh yeah, I was quite into the Eurythmics back when I was a teenager. I can't remember what album Revenge was, which hits were on that. And the B-side, on the other side of the tape, we have Godly and Cream. What does that say? Godly and Cream, Sly Fox, and Various spelt wrong. Sly Fox, yeah, they did that song Let's Go All The Way, which was one of my favourite songs back in the 80s. I think I've got it on single somewhere. So yeah, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? Godly and Cream. And this was done, this is a Sony HFS 90, so I did have some good quality tapes. Not all of them were crappy Woolworths ones. Right, and Prince, Kiss, does that say? And there's something else underneath that as well. I can't quite make out what it says. So a bit of Prince, yeah, very much like Prince. Even later on when I was pretty much only listening to like heavy metal, still had a bit of a thing for Prince. And who wouldn't? Alright, this is my tape copy of Houses of the Holy. I do have this on vinyl, but I put it on cassette so I can enjoy it on the go. On both sides, there's the C60, and this one is a Philips one. Alright, so this one looks like a cover tape from a magazine. It says Down to Earth on it. Promotional use only, not for sale. Down to Earth. What's on here? Sky Cries Mary by Moon Dream Meadow Allegory. I don't know who Moon Dream Meadow Allegory is. And then we have the Cave Dogs and their song Love Grenade. That does sound a little bit familiar. Okay, Beastie Boys, Pass the Mic. Very good. Elevation, I've heard them. Smile. Tom Cochrane, Life Isn't a Highway, is that? Not familiar with this one. This compilation was from 1992. Oh, and I don't know if you can see that, it's got a bit of mould on it. I was going to play this, maybe not. And on the other side we have, what's this band called? Wild Side, How Many Lies, Mellow Man Ace, What's It Take to Pull a Hottie, and in brackets, Like You, the Smithereens and their song Get a Hold of My Heart, Slick Tonic, White Lies, Black Truth, and Little Sean, Funky Rhymes. So I'm not familiar with any of these. It's a shame it's mouldy. I might have to give this a clean if possible. I've got some isopropyl alcohol. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about that, but if not, I'll see if there's a version of this somewhere online. Right, Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy. Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Ride the Lightning. This, not my handwriting, I think this is a tape that my girlfriend Kirsty made for me at the time. Got me into Metallica. I went to see Metallica play in 92, I think it was, or 91. It was at the Black Album tour. It was in Manchester. They played for 3.5 hours. And I do remember them looking very, very tired, but I mean, they played fantastic. The energy levels were up. It was just like 3.5 hours of relentless, fantastic music. How they managed to do that, I have no idea. Probably lots. I'm not going to accuse them of taking lots of drugs, but I mean, the actual the stamina required to do that every night. That tour went on for about, I don't know how long it gone for. I'll find out how long it went on for, but it went on for a long time anyway. Alright, so a compilation tape which was made for me by my friend Amy. It's called the Lovin Family. Whoops. And she's drawn a picture there of, I think this is supposed to be myself, my girlfriend Heidi, and I guess that makes Amy the one with the curly hair and the cigarette in her mouth. So let's see what's on here. Combat Honey by the Wannadies. The intro and the outro by the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Great taste. Pop Palace, Trash Can Sinatras. So yeah, Pop Palace would have been the song, wouldn't it? Trash Can Sinatras. I can't remember that one. Okay, Come Home by Placebo. Fast by AC Acoustics. You Only Live Twice by Nancy Sinatra. Excellent. Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes, an absolute classic. Alternate, Activate. Joy Division, Incubation. Super Furry Animals, God Show Me Magic, which was on the, if you saw my previous video, the playlist one. So that must be where I got this from. I must have got Super Furry Animals off this tape to put on that tape for Paul. Okay, Lovin' Spoonful, Nashville Cats. Cable, Ultraviolet. Brothers Johnson, Strawberry Letter number 22. And Smiths, Sheila Take a Bow. And then it just says Dallas. I'm guessing that's the theme tune. So yeah, compilation by my friend Amy. I've got the thing I'm going to put a playlist together of this, and so I will put a link down below. Right. So these TDK ones, these are some of the oldest ones I have. This one says on it Bruce Springsteen. Must be Born in the USA, I'd imagine. I quite like that album. And on the other side we have Prince and Huey Lewis. 12 inches, 12-inch remixes. Fantastic. Huey Lewis in the News, their song The Power of Love. That was my favourite song of all time throughout the 80s. Possibly still is. I don't know. I'd have to look back and see if there's anything that I prefer. But definitely at the time, that was my favourite song when I was probably 15. Okay, a type of cassette I'm not familiar with here. What's that say? Ryral, Pyral, a Maxima Cobalt. So I don't know what the name of that company is there. It looks like P or RYRAL or Royal. No idea. And this has got UB40 on it. Not one of mine. It must be one I borrowed from somewhere. I don't think this. No, this says the Manic Street Preachers and Jesus Mary Chain compilation put together by my friend Paul. So you'll find that a lot. A lot of the tapes don't match the boxes. Mary Jane Massacre. I've actually put this online. This is on my other channel, the Pitch and Putt channel. This is a demo of a band I saw playing at the West Coast Rock Cafe in Blackpool. They were 3 or 4 piece. I think it was maybe their first or second gig. But I really liked the stuff they were doing. It was very very raw, as you probably be here if you listen to the playlist that I put up. Yeah, live at the West Coast Rock Cafe. So copyright 1993. That, maybe I didn't see them at the West Coast Rock, or maybe they didn't play there. Well, obviously they must have played there before, unless they had a very quick turnaround of recording the gig and then putting out the tapes. So I could have sworn I saw them at West Coast. I must have done, yes. Yeah, so maybe this was their second gig and they'd recorded the first gig or something. Well, on a few tapes I own that were of originals. This is Nielsen Schmilsen. The album with Without You on it, and Coconut, Let the Good Times Roll, the Moonbeam song, and I'll Never Leave You, and Jump in the Fire, all good songs. And another original, Herb Albert, Going Places. I think this is the one that's got Spanish Fly on it. Let's have a look. Spanish Flea, Spanish Fly, excuse me. Yeah, Walk Don't Run, Spanish Flea, and the Angels Sing, Cinco de Mayo, A Walk in the Black Forest, Zoba the Greek, Tijuana Taxi, excellent, I'm Getting Sentimental Over You, More and More Amor, Felicia, May, and Third Man Theme. Fantastic, bit of Herb. I always thought he was called Herb. That must be why. Obviously he's called Herb Albert, but yeah. I don't think that's the original box. This looks like one of those slim cassette tape boxes that came out a little later. Rummaging around, more Smashing Pumpkins and Syd Barrett. And there looks like there's something underneath this, which I've written on, and it looks like, what could that be? I don't really want to pull the tape off, but there's definitely something underneath there, isn't there? No, I can't see what that is. Maybe it's U2. Oh, the Joshua Tree. Yeah, he did used to like U2 briefly, but I taped over it with Syd Barrett and Smashing Pumpkins. Queen, possibly a compilation, maybe it's the best of. And the other side just says blues. I don't know who's on the blues side. And a mystery tape. This is a BBC tape. Ooh. Nothing on it, no stickers or anything. So, shall I try to put it on and see what it is? Oh no. Okay, let's just hear what it is, shall we? I have no idea what this is. Oh. Any ideas? I'm guessing the copyright people will find out and tell me who it is. I don't know. I can't name that tune at all. Pet Shop Boys? Some sort of remix? But no, not something I'd listen to anyway. Who's this? Nah, I don't know who that is. So I've no idea where I got this cassette. Just gonna rewind it a sec, see if there's anything else on there. Fucking hell, what's this? No. It sounds terrible though. I don't just mean the quality of the music. Maybe it's taped off the radio or something. Ugh. Oh, sorry about that. No, I don't know what that was or where it came from. Nothing to do with me. Ah, right, so my Led Zeppelin tape. I'm guessing this is the first album. So, as a young teenager, about 14 or 15, I was just getting into listening to bands, and I think I may have said this before, I was quite into Dire Straits and Bryan Adams. Yeah, quite heavily into Bryan Adams and Dire Straits when I was 14, and and things like Def Leppard and Bon Jovi, sort of like, you know, soft rock really. And then one day everything changed. I'll explain. I was at my friend Clive's house. He used to brew his own wine and cider. So when we were 15, he was a bit of a scientist. Well, he still is a bit of a scientist actually. He's got a PhD now. But yeah, he used to brew his own beer and booze. So we used to go around his house for parties. And one day we were there and we were listening to, I've got a feeling we were listening to something like, you know, Bryan Adams or Bon Jovi or, you know, I don't know, Phil Collins or something. And his stepbrother turned up on his motorbike, who was a few years older, well maybe he was in his 20s. And he came in and he just took one listen at what we were playing, and he said, "Go get that shit off." And he whipped out Led Zeppelin 2. And that changed my life forever. I was never heard anything like it. I was aware of who Led Zeppelin were, but I wasn't familiar with the music at all. Although looking back now, I've got a feeling that either my brother must have had or borrowed a copy of Led Zeppelin 2, because I distinctly remember seeing it and opening it up and looking on the inside. Maybe when I was in maybe 11 or 12 or so. So maybe he just borrowed it from someone, I can't remember. But yeah, I was absolutely blown away. I could not believe what I was hearing. A whole lot of love coming through, you know, on vinyl. And they had a very good stereo setup as well. Huge speakers. And that was it. It just completely changed my listening from then on. I was, you know, it was 70s heavy rock all the way for a few years. And, you know, chucked out all the Dire Straits, chucked out all the Bryan Adams, and got heavily into Zeppelin. So yeah, this is probably their first album. On the other side of the tape, there's something, can't read what it says because it's just completely faded away. So let's stick that on and see what it is, shall we? It sounds like a rehearsal. Yeah, this is Dr. Bone. This is me with my band. Sounds like a very early rehearsal as well. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. That's just an example of me not knowing what's on half of these tapes. I didn't know that existed. It sounds like a very early, very poorly recorded rehearsal from my band Dr. Bone. See here, another blank one, the mystery blank one. Example, Dire Straits, the album Dire Straits, and making movies. So yeah, Dire Straits. I mean, I don't know why I was so enthralled by them really. Just now, it just leaves me cold. I mean, some of the songs are good. Romeo and Juliet's not a bad song. It's not something I really like listening to. I find it a bit sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit depressing. No, yeah, I used to really like Dire Straits. And then I got educated. Beatles number ones. Okay, Soundgarden. Another band which I got into courtesy of Clive's stepbrother. He used to work in a tape duplicating factory, a legal one, you know, not a dodgy one. And they used to get demos through of stuff that was going to be mastered onto cassettes. And he turned up one day and he had this big bag of stuff and he just sort of chucked it out there and said, "Is there anything in here you want? You can have." And one of them was the first Soundgarden album, and it hadn't even been released properly yet. It was in the process of being manufactured, and he was just like, "Wow, Bad Motor Finger." He was just like, "Was that the first one?" Yes. And so, huge fan of Soundgarden. I'd probably possibly say I'd prefer Soundgarden over Nirvana. Now I know that's a big bold statement, but no, maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to do a grunge retrospective to find out. But definitely loved Soundgarden anyway. Okay, it's a tape that just says on it Car Wash Hair, the Mercury Rev song, easily one of my favourite songs of all time. I don't think it's all Car Wash Hair on here, it just is on the back compilation. So again, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to go through this and put together another playlist. But yeah, Car Wash Hair, if you're not familiar with it, go and check it out. I believe some people in Mercury Rev went on to be in Flaming Lips, or the way around, or there may have been some crossover between the Flaming Lips and Mercury Rev. So very similar kind of sound. Okay, this one says Let's Go Crazy, and on the other side it says Nicky's, 1987, November the 16th. This is a tape of us dicking about, messing around at our friend Nicky's house, and it's just us talking and just being daft. I'm not going to play any of it, it's probably highly libelous, and you know, the people who are on it will not want people to hear what's on there. But yeah, I'm trying to think what's the equivalent of now. I mean, nowadays people have mobile phones and they can record videos, and recording yourself is not a big deal. But back then, hearing yourself on tape, it was just like a novelty, you know. I'm sure I wasn't the only one who would get a tape player and a microphone and just sort of say stupid things into it and play it back, and it would just be hilarious. You know, wow, listening to your voice on a cassette was just entertainment back then for some reason. Right, Stone Roses. Stone Roses' first album, easily my top 5 albums of all time, and I think this tape is knackered. Look at it. It just shows you how long it's been played. I first heard this album in France in 1989. Was it 1990? On holiday. There was we were on the beach and some people were playing it, and it was like, what the hell is that? And yeah, this tape's well knackered. Can you see? So yeah, instantly became a big fan of the Stone Roses. And they also were playing Galaxy 500. It's, if you've never heard of, you should go and check out their song Isn't It a Pity. The version of the George Harrison track is brilliant. That's a shame. Don't worry, I've got this on other formats. Not on vinyl though. Definitely need to look out for that. Okay, ZZ Top, El Loco. Great album, Party on the Patio. Really like that. And on the other side is Fleetwood Mac. Plus something else I can't quite make. Oh, Fleetwood Mac and Various. So early Fleetwood Mac. This would be the Peter Green era, which I was, you know, a huge fan of at the time. I think when I was into Peter Green era Fleetwood Mac, I was really sort of anti the Rumours era Fleetwood Mac. You know, to me as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, you know, Rumours just epitomised that kind of middle of the road, bland 70s grown up sort of easy listening sort of version of Fleetwood Mac, which now I absolutely love. But yeah, I think Rumours is brilliant. It just shows you how your taste changes as you get older. Okay, this one says first tape. That's interesting. I think this must have been one of my first ever compilations when I was, I'm going to try and guess at a year here, I'm going to say 1985. It does say on there 1984, but that's the song 1984 by the Eurythmics. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm saying 1985, or even could have been 1984 actually. My first sort of music taste, so let's just see what's on here. We have 1984, which is the Eurythmics, Double Plus Good, which is also the Eurythmics from the film soundtrack of 1984, Science Fiction and Damn It Janet, There's a Light and Time Warp, that's all from the Rocky Horror Show, that which I loved when I was about 13, 14. Hurdy Gurdy Man, that would have been off the Neil album, Neil's Heavy Concept album. Love Kills is Freddie Mercury. Sweet Dreams, more Eurythmics. Hyperactive is Thomas Dolby. Electro, not sure what Electro is, and then it just says Monty Python. So Electro and Monty Python. And on the other side I'd put Bryan Adams is Cuts Like a Knife. I know he gets a lot of shit, Bryan Adams, but you know, he did write some good songs. You know. Although none of these are leaping out at me. maybe Cuts Like a Knife wasn't. That was his first album, or was it You Want It, You Got It? He used to like You Want It, You Got It. So, oh, and the tape actually in here says on there, I could never spell the word various. Westworld and Various. Remember Westworld? What did they do? I keep getting them mixed up with Transvision Vamp. Westworld. I'll do a bit of research and edit in something. Alright, so the tape in here is actually a Dr. Bone rehearsal. But of more interest is the actual original tape, which was another compilation I put together, and I'm guessing this is about the same time. I'm going to put this at about 1985. I've got Iggy Pop, Wild Child 12 inch, Only the Sun, which was Stranglers, Top Gun, Danger Zone, The Boxer, Baby Driver, Bridge Over Troubled Water, El Condo Pasa, Cecilia, Keep the Customer Satisfied. They were all Simon and Garfunkel. I think my girlfriend at the time was really into Simon and Garfunkel. And The Word Girl, which is Scritti Politti. And on the other side, is more, it says there, Frankie 12 inches, is Warriors, that's Warriors of the Wasteland, their little known follow-up to their album Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Warriors Return, Warriors End, so yeah, 3 remixes of the same song. Rage Hard, Suffragette City, which is great, their version, Frankie Goes to Hollywood's version of Suffragette City is really good. Burger and a Coffee, oh I remember that, yeah, that's a B-side, it's terrible. I think it's like Trevor Horn just pissing around this in the studio. And Centerfold by Jay Giles Band, or am I doing that thing again where I'm getting mixed up with the other one? No, Centerfold is Jay Giles Band, isn't it? And not, I want to say Steve Harvey. Who's the other one? Steve Miller Band. Not Ed Miller Band, the Steve Miller Band. It's one of the two anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I suppose what I should do now I've got them all out is actually match up the cassettes and the boxes. Orbital, In the Middle of Nowhere, and Luke Slater, Freak Funk. This is a tape that Paul made for me. I'm guessing this is going to be late 90s. Luke Slater, yeah, that was quite good, Freak Funk, if you like sort of minimal electronic music. And Orbital, you'll know who they are. Alright, oh, very early tape now, these BASF ones. U2 Live and Whitesnake. Quite like the bit of a Whitesnake. Oh, and Led Zeppelin 3. Fantastic. This one says Mercury Rev, See You on the Other Side. And the Deserter Songs album by Mercury Rev, which is also excellent. Heart. A band that I really liked when I was in my early soft rock metal phase. This would have been, I think this is the Heart album called Heart. And on the other side we have Beatles and Hendrix. So yeah, Beatles compilation I wish to put together. I wonder which ones they are. This one just says Bonzos, so I guess it's a Bonzo Dog Band. I think Amy did that one for me. Oh, this is a really old cassette. Let's take this one. Hitachi C120. Didn't get many of them. Don't get many of them to the pound, do you? They're very heavy, these C120s. I think they were notorious for snapping because the tape was so thin. Because there was so much of it. Excuse me. This is a Hitachi C20 made in Japan. Low noise index. And I have no idea what's on it. Let's see how it says on here. Easy Does It, Sister Moonshine, Ain't Nobody But Me, and then it just runs out. I wonder who that is. Any ideas? I'm just going off the name. Oh, hang on. Maybe it'd help if I looked at the end here. Crisis, What Crisis? Breakfast in America. It's Supertramp, everybody. Yes, it's a Supertramp tape. Look how cool that is. And not played that often. It's still in quite good nick. I'm a bit reluctant to put it in the machine. As I say, these are notorious for snapping, the C120s. A nice chunky box as well. Alright, so the tape in here again doesn't match the box. The tape in here says the Mac Lads. Yeah, I quite like the Mac Lads for some reason when I was a teenager, you know, rude words, but, you know, racism, not cool. So no, I wouldn't listen to them now. But let's have a look in here. This is a picture of, this is very 90s as you can see. This is, looks like it's something from a Lads mag. Oh, it's a Pop Noodle advert, Pop Noodle postcard advert, which I'm guessing Paul had turned into a inlay. Let's see what's on here. Working Class Hero, John Lennon. Search and Destroy by the Stooges. Cecilia Ann, the Pixies. Nursery Rhyme by Uncle. Uncle, yes. Generation Sex by the Divine Comedy. If You Tolerate This by the Manics. I Know I Would by Drugstore. Miss Misery by Elliott Smith. Brilliant. The Sun Crosses the Sky by Golf Harris. So that's us. Oh, cheers, Paul. He put one of our own songs on a compilation, as if I'd never heard it. Jealous Sky by John Lennon and One by U2. And on the other side is Beat This by Bun the Bass. Oh yes. It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Brilliant. What's that one? Start the Commotion by the Wise Guys. I remember that one. Rude Boy Rock by Lion Rock. Soul Bossa Nova by Quincy Jones. So we got, what did you say, indie rock on the first side and a bit of funk and soul and dance music on the other side. Olive Oil by the Happy Mondays. In the Flesh by Jurassic 5. The Rep Gets Bigger by Gangstar. Guns Blazing by Uncle. And finishing off with The Model, Kraftwerk. Well done, Paul. Good compilation. Oh, the actual cassette in here is... it's an album I've not heard in a year. In years. Deus. In a Bar Under the Sea. I recommend listening to that if you've never heard of Deus. Fantastic. They're from Belgium, I think. And Sparkle Horse. Sparkle Horse, wow, yeah. I had a chance to go and see Sparkle Horse. They were playing at the garage, the club garage, the garage. I don't know if I've told this story before. Apologies if I have. Yeah, when I was living in London, when I was at uni, I was living in just off the Holloway Road, and Sparkle Horse were doing a gig at the garage, which was in Islington, so at the other end of Holloway Road. And it was midweek, and we could have just turned up, wasn't required tickets in advance, and I just thought, nah, you know, I won't be bothered, you know, I'll see them next time. And of course, he killed himself, didn't he? So that was it. Never get a chance to see Sparkle Horse. So it was my Mr. T at the mall story, if you're familiar with that from The Simpsons. And the moral is, if you've got a chance to go and see a band, take it. You never know, it might be the last time you ever get to see them. But yeah, Sparkle Horse, another fantastic band. Right, moving on. Another demo I got from a gig. Maybe I don't know where I picked up half of these. We either played gigs with bands and they gave us their tapes, or I saw them. I don't remember seeing the Glowworms, Hedonism, another demo which I've duped and put onto YouTube on my other channel. I think these are from Preston, from what I can remember. Oh, maybe not. Oh, recorded at the Assembly Line Studios in Preston. And but the phone numbers on here are Blackpool numbers, so I guess this was a Blackpool band. And it's quite good, this. Holding the Baby, Show Lane, Split, Sunny Day, Saphead, King of the Universe and Belter. Were you in the Glowworms? Were you either Aki, Bod, Damien or Nige? If so, I've put your demo on YouTube. I put these things up because I find them and I don't know who they belong to. And I'm half expecting people to send me messages saying, like, where did you find this? What are you doing? Please take it down. Or something. Which I would, you know, if someone sort of said, wasn't happy about their demo being put onto YouTube, I would definitely take it off. But no, so far, obviously no one's gone searching for it. I think there's probably another band called The Glowworms, which, you know, kind of muddies the waters a little bit. But yeah, not a bad demo. Okay, Guns N' Roses. Another one of my all-time favourite bands. One of the bands that changed my listening habits when I first heard that. But I definitely put Appetite for Destruction in my top 10. Blue Monday. Beach Mix. And something I called Fine Devices. Oh dear. So before I started actually making music, I would just do, I'm not even going to call it DJing, it was more just kind of like seeing what it was like to mix two sets of songs together by using two tape decks. Okay, so a compilation tape made by my friend Paul, possibly in return for the Mondo Biondo one, which I made him. He's called Shatner's Bassoon. I won't explain the reference, you either know it or you don't. Unfortunately there's no track listing, so I'm going to have to find that out, because I know this is fantastic and I do want to make a playlist of this. So watch out for a Shatner's Bassoon playlist, if I can find out what the tracks are on it. And okay, Black Sabbath. Doesn't say which album, could just be Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. And the other side is blank, which is always intriguing. Should we have a hear of what's on this other side here? Here. Small Sabbath. So that's a general Sabbath compilation. Whoops. We have the Hits Tape 3. No idea what's in this one. See inlaid card for details. I don't have the inlaid card, so I can't. This is just, it's one of those kind of knockoff versions of like the Now ones. You know, the Now That's What I Call Music. I don't know how far the Hits ones went. This was from 1985. Zappa. Could be anything. I guess I think it's going to be only in it for the money. And Lumpy Gravy. More Luke Slater. And The Sound of the Cosmos, Tom Middleton. I'm not familiar with that one. It's a tape that's got... This is Paul's handwriting. So I'll put this one to one side and see what it is. Oh, this is a really old one. You see the state of that. Look at the aging on there. This is Ozzy Osbourne and Jimi Hendrix. And on the other side it's the Randy Rhoads Ozzy Osbourne tribute album. Fantastic. This is really old. I'll put that to one side. Yeah, a Yamaha voice sampling tape by the Nippon Gaki Co. Limited. One of the keyboards we used to have was a Yamaha VSS 100. Was that the type of the... oh, I guess it was. Yeah, and it had a kind of a built-in microphone. It's really shit quality microphone, and if you just you could record and you could record like 2 or 3 seconds of any noise, and it would sample it. Which for back in the mid 80s was quite ahead of its time. And he got this tape with it, which came with human voices, musical instrument sounds, sounds of nature, animal sounds, and miscellaneous sounds. So I'm gonna have to digitize this, I think, and stick it up on the internet somewhere. Rock Mix, Pop Terrorism. I think Pop Terrorism was the name I'd given it. No idea what's on that. More Metallica. Billy Idol. This is really old stuff. This is from like when I was at school. Yeah, I really liked the Billy Idol album. Dancing with Myself. It's still a great song. On the other side we have the INXS album Listen Like Thieves, which is really good. This is the album that came out just before Kick, which is the one that sent them into the big time. Listen Like Thieves is also very good. I'm not sure whether if they had any albums before Listen Like Thieves, but they weren't really known in the UK before that. Anyway. New Order, Technique. But look at this, oof, the state of that. You see how grubby it is on the back? And I can't even read what was on that. Looks like someone's vomited all over it. The Beatles, Very Use, with Sgt. Pepper on the other side. So that's probably a lot of that's probably Revolver and Rubber Soul. Bits of. Country. Which country? I don't know. An Electric Soft Parade. That's a weird one. Right, not much left in the box now. Another mystery tape. Jungle Bastard. John Peel. This is some jungle music I taped off, drum and bass sounding, off the radio, and the compilation of, yeah, is it a John Peel session? No, John Peel 90s. I'm gonna have to put that to one side and see what's on there. Heavy metal, just heavy metal mix, which I'd spell MYX, because that's how edgy I was. No idea what would be on this. I'm guessing Iron Maiden, a White Snake maybe, bit of Def Leppard possibly, Anthrax, Megadeth, I don't know. Heavy metal mix, another one. So yeah, I used to make a lot of mixtapes, and they're not right on them what they were. Ooh, look at this one. This is an oldie one. This is a 70s era. This must be one of my parents. Monotone. They're really selling out, aren't they? Low noise, low quality. Why would you call it? Oh, why would you call it just monotone? Late night guitar. And Simon and Garfunkel, Songs for Pleasure. So I'm gonna have to find out what late night guitar is all about. Okay, so rapidly running out of battery, so I'll just power through and see if there's anything on here worth talking about. David Bowie, Faith No More, live on the radio. Ad Nauseum, that's Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. I think I first ever heard this on tape on a coach trip to France, the same holiday that I had Stone Roses on, listening to it at night, and I got told to be quiet because I was laughing so much and woke everyone up. Okay, and finally we have Eclectic Avenue by the legendary DJ Jim Doc, our friend Jim Doherty. Right, sorry about that, the battery just died just as I was about to wrap this up. So yeah, the last one here, we have the Eclectic Avenue tape, a legendary mixtape put together by our good friend Jim Doherty, DJ Jim Doc from Pitch and Putt blog fame. Well, you know, that was the least of his achievements. He was quite a face around London for a while, playing the show, which is the night that Paul put on in Bethnal Green. I'll put some links to the blog entries about that. This is from October 2000, and yeah, I've transcribed this onto a playlist, which I'll link down below. A brilliant compilation of soul and funk, most of which I'd never heard before and was blown away by. So yeah, kudos to Jim for that. Some good tunes. Alright, so that's it for this massive box of tapes. Thank you for persevering. I'll probably do another one because I might not have anything better to do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this chat, and enjoy some of the links I'm going to put below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.